Want to know why? Ask how. Howard the Humongous. George Noory, the host of Coast to Coast, called with a question this week. Why is time moving so fast? It seemed like just yesterday it was New Year's. All of a sudden, it's the beginning of summer. And Mark Prosser, who is sitting here with me, points out that we seem to go from winter to summer almost overnight. And there is a Bloomian answer to this. It has to do with information. It has to do with that villain of modern times that I love, multitasking. Here's what I wrote for George. There's a concept called tennis time versus beach time in my first book, The Lucifer Principle, a scientific expedition into the forces of history. Beach time is when there's nothing interesting happening, and beach time is boring time. It seems to go on forever. But tennis time is just the opposite. And today, all of us are on tennis time. Tennis time is when you're up against a fast-moving challenge like an incoming tennis ball. Research shows that if you are really athletic, you can see 18 frames of an incoming ball's movement per second. That's 18 snapshots per second. Not bad. And scientific work done with Boston Red Sox baseball batter Ted Williams in 1968 hinted that Williams saw 100 frames per second of an incoming ball, even if that ball was moving at 80 miles an hour. That means if you're like Ted Williams, and if I can find my space in the script, you drink in 100 significant instants in 1 second. That's 100 significant flashes in a flick in which other people only get 1, which means that you get more time per second in tennis time. You get more time in a second than you get in half an hour of beach time, boring time. And the sheer excitement makes time move fast. Fact is that today all of us are inching from tennis time, from beach time to tennis time. Back in 1980, 35 years ago, when you walked down a street, you had nothing to do but watch the cars, ogle a few pedestrians, and do what your mom told you to do, keep your eyes on the sidewalk. Oh, and you could rehearse a fight with your best friend's mother or your wife in your spare time, in your head, if you wanted to. At least when you were driving, you could listen to the radio, but life was boring. You were on beach time. Minutes seemed to last forever. They crept slowly past. Today, you're roughly 5 times as engaged and active as you would have been 35 years ago. You're roughly 5 times as far into tennis time. Think about it. In July 1979, Sony invented the Walkman. All of a sudden, you could listen to music while you walked down the street. You could listen to your own favorite stuff while you drove in your car. And if you liked to use your brain, you could go even farther. You could listen to books on tape. In the 1980s, the cell phone became popular. Now you could talk to friends while you walked down the street, or while you drove, something that only rich people with limousines and in-car phones had ever been able to do in the past. Then in December 3rd, 1992, text messaging was introduced. Now you could feel as if you were with your friends and as if they were with you through a constant stream of short updates. You weren't alone when you walked down the street anymore. Okay, by 1992 your mind was up and running even in the most boring moments. You were switching from beach time to tennis time, but that was just the beginning. In September 1998, Google came along and made you a genius. You no longer had to do what your high school teacher had tried to force. You no longer had to do what your high school teacher had tried to force down your throat. You no longer had to memorize a whole encyclopedia full of information, something you couldn't possibly actually do. None of us could. Instead, you could Google it. In October 23, 2001, Apple introduced the iPod. Now you could carry an entire music library in your pocket. and listen to it on headphones while you walk down that boring, boring street, or when you were stuck in traffic. In January 2004, Facebook emerged at Harvard. Suddenly, you could put up an update and get responses from your friends in seconds. In February 2005, YouTube hit you. Now you could watch TV on a portable device, on your laptop or your cell phone. In August 24th, 2006, Netflix went on cell phone, and you could watch entire movies. In March 2007, NBC invented Hulu and made TV. That stuff that had been stuck in a big box in your living room, portable. And in June 29th, 2007, Apple introduced the iPhone. Now you could Google stuff, watch TV, watch movies, listen to your favorite music, talk to your friends, and text them all from one device, your smartphone. And by today, May 18th, 2015, guess how many smartphones are walking around on the sidewalks of this planet? There are 2 billion of them. Why is time speeding up? You and I are on tennis time, a unique privilege, something brand new in history. Or as it's known today, we are multitasking. Idiots from an older generation tell us that multitasking is dumbing us down. But idiots from older generations always say that. Plato said in 390 BC in ancient Greece that a hot new technology that kids adored was going to dumb the kids of Athens down, was going to kill the mind of Greece. The technology Plato was whining about was the book. The town fathers of London in 1594 said that another information fad was going to make kids dumb, not to mention violent and immoral. The hot new technology was called theater, and it included the plays of a man that one critic called an upstart crow, William Shakespeare. Today, we force-feed books and Shakespeare to kids. Why? To make them smart. Has the uptick in the pace of information made kids stupid? Has tennis time dumbed us down? Has multitasking done what fashionable social critic Nicholas Carr claims in one of his books? Has it made us shallow? The IQ of kids in the Western world has gone up roughly 35 points in the last 115 years. It's called the Flynn effect. It's turned average kids into marginal geniuses, as measured on the Stanford-Binet IQ test of 1900. And that IQ leap has been proven by scientific study, a lot of it. 35 extra IQ points in 115 years, that's fucking astonishing. Are we being dumbed down now that time is moving faster? Is tennis time shredding our brains? Is multitasking making us morons? The fact is that we're being turned into geniuses by Google, Facebook, smartphones, and texting. Tennis time is making us smart. So be glad that time is moving so fast. This is Howard the Humongous, speaking to you from the future. It's your job and my job to make, or want to know why, ask how. And now for that infamous silver hidden off button. I think I found it.